Welcome back, everyone, to our Marvel Plus Live reaction of Secret Invasion, titled
Identity Crisis.
We are on episode 2 of this 6-part event. We've already seen episode 1 of Secret Invasion, and it was a bit lackluster, to say the least. I honestly don't remember too much about this. It's only been a week, and I've already forgotten a majority of what happened, other than, that surprise ending. That was a bad hit. A lot of people remember it for kind of the wrong reasons, though. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter, Nash in particular, who mentioned that this show's sending some rather mixed, possibly detrimental messages in terms of its theme. And the fact that you have a small group of immigrant aliens who want to infiltrate and take over the Earth. Yeah, that doesn't seem like it's sending a pretty good message. We already gave praise to the fact that they went against the grain in terms of how they characterize the Skrulls. Instead of, making them your typical invaders, they actually are just a bunch of refugees who genuinely want a home and to live in peace. And we saw them throughout other Marvel movies where they are helping in a way, and nothing sinister seemed afoot. But now suddenly, things are sinister because of this one little group that decides they're going to take over all of Earth.
After 30 years of nothing happening, and then the blip happening, and all that.
Yeah, because
they're kind of losing patience.
Yeah, because the Earth doesn't have bigger problems going on. So like I said, not a great start, but I'm hoping things will get better in episode 2, which is titled
Promises.
Can it promise that this will be a better episode? I am interested to see whether they make Maria Hill getting off stick or not, or if she's gonna make a miraculous recovery. I mean, we've seen Fury do it, so why not her? I have mixed feelings about it. I feel like doing this to Maria kind of, again, causes her to become like a fridged woman. Her death's gonna motivate Fury, supposedly, again, if it sticks. But yeah, let's just jump right into it and get started on episode 2 and see where exactly this goes from here. And play.
1995, remember that?
I was like 9.
Official SHIELD activity. Never occurred to me they would be coming from above.
So previously on is just Captain Marvel?
May as well be.
Can't trust anyone.
Really, this is the first time I actually needed a previous on, because
I completely forgot that the daughter was actually in the movie.
Or even the guy.
No, I remember Talos. That's it.
97, so only 2 years later.
I'd like you to meet someone. This is Gravik. His parents were killed in the last stand against the Kree. He escaped from behind enemy lines, piloted a ship all on his own. He is smart, Curie. Knows how to survive. We could use someone like him.
He's a child.
Only to human eyes. Just talk to him.
He suffered horrible trauma. Let's use that to our advantage.
Sorry to hear about your parents.
They died a brilliant death.
I'm sure they did. This work here, it's very dangerous.
Helpful.
I'm not afraid.
All of us have lost someone. Or everyone. And our entire species is scattered across the galaxy. But for those of you
Does
who
the
braved
actor
the
really not like
journey
being in the
here
makeup
to
that
Earth,
much?
You did so for one reason. This is the promise. While you work to keep my home safe, Carol Danvers and I will find you a new one. Who'll be first to take the page?
It's kind of an empty promise. It's like,
Thank you, sorry.
How long? Also, are they inventing these faces, or are they copying, real people?
Yeah, that's a good question.
In which case, that's going to be a bit awkward if they run into their doppelgangers.
You keep your word, I'll keep mine.
And thus is when origin starts.
Now is the test. And special guest Colby Smothers.
Whenever they say special guest, it never ends well.
I'm an American.
I'm American.
From America.
I thought that was America. Profiling Americans as terrorists. Who'd have thought?
Honestly, it's not even that it's an AI opening. It's also, like, really pretentious. Don't particularly care for it. I don't think I'd even care for it if it were an AI.
Honestly, this feels more like a Batman opening.
Not even.
With the foreboding dread and whatnot. Everything almost in shadow. Oh, so yeah, Skrulls kind of got a raw deal. It's like, oh, we'll find you a home as long as you spy for us and, you know, put your lives on the line. And we're supposed to root against the bad guy because... I mean, I know why, because he's essentially getting his group killed. They're only, what, 1,000 against billions of people on Earth?
As another Marvel character said, the bill always comes due.
Mm-hmm. Can you imagine in, like, the final episode, Carol Danvers comes back and be like, hey, good news, I found you guys a place. Oh. Was I too late on that?
Also, I'm wondering how many Skrulls were affected by the blip.
At least half of them. I assume the ones that portrayed Maria Hill and Fury, whatever point in time that was. Looks like he's gonna kiss her.
I mean...
Hint, hint. So he's like one of those close talkers. He's like...
They're gone.
Hiding in the bathroom. It always works.
I hate to say it, but he looks like Jazz Grandpa.
Line.
Well, me and my mama used to take these long train rides to Detroit. Coming out of Alabama, we always had to ride in the color car. It was hot, sweaty. Bathroom didn't work half the time. And we couldn't go in the dining car. So we brought fried chicken, white bread, deviled eggs, pound cake, and a shoebox. Half hour after the train pulled out, that chicken be gone. Smelled way too good to wait. As me and my mother would make up games, pass the time. Tell me something I don't know. That was one of her favorites. And she said, tell me something I don't know about you and Susie. Me and Susie had a standing game of doctor. We've been playing behind old man Jackson's barn. Suffice it to say, I wasn't about to tell her about that. Oh, I made up something crazy. Me and Susie saw a bullfrog with polka dots.
I feel like this is Samuel Jackson just improvising.
Even though I
it's working
through my teeth, the mere fact that I did that told her everything she needed to know. Tell me something I don't know about the destruction of Skrulls. You know
That took a turn.
everything there is to know about it, period. The name of the game is tell me something I don't know. We were overpowered by the Kree. We held them off for as long as we could. When we couldn't hold them off any longer, the million of us that were left, we fled. Interesting. Tell me something I don't know about the Skrulls that fled. They're here.
This guy sucks at this game.
All of us. Wait. You're telling me there's 1 million Skrulls walking amongst us right now? Have you lost your reptilian ass mind? Hey, we were being hunted across the universe. I had two choices. I could let my people be annihilated or summon them here to Earth. What would you have done? This ain't about me. All right, but you find using us as your spies and your errand boys, as long as it's on your terms. The host gets to set the terms of the visitation. What happens when the host disappears? Huh? Because you were gone. And I didn't think you were coming back. I really didn't. Even when you did come back, there was no talking to you about anything real. Your boots barely hit Earth. And oh, it's too heavy here, man. I gotta go up to my space station. You've been up there for years. You knew how to get in touch with me, Talos. And you didn't because you didn't want me to know. Skrulls and humans can coexist here on Earth. Humans can't coexist with each other, Talos. You've been here long enough to know that.
Yeah.
We've been at war with each other since we could walk upright. There is not enough room or tolerance on this planet for another species.
He's kind of right.
Yep.
Matter of fact, neither is this trade department. I think this is just about.
Yeah, kick off the only ally you've got right now, even if he did lie to you.
Plus, you did ask him to tell you something you didn't know. He told the truth, and now you flipped out on him.
You should have known you wouldn't like the answer.
I mean, clearly they haven't been that much of a problem if it took him this long to realize it.
I assume that's Maria Hill.
Probably. I'm still not fully convinced, though.
Yeah, neither am I.
Sorry, you know how comics are.
Mm-hmm. Death is a toy.
No one's ever really gone.
How did it happen?
Okay.
Don't you be one of those bastards who gives me a platitude when I'm looking for the truth. That one over there. You know what he told me? He told me that my nation owes me a debt of gratitude, but he won't even tell me where on planet Earth my daughter was killed. So apparently facts are not included in the debt I'm owed.
I mean, she was a secret agent.
We were there trying to stop the attack. Someone set a trap.
For her?
Well, for me. Someone wanted to hurt me. So they hurt her.
That makes it so much better.
So you're the reason I'm taking my daughter back home in a box.
Like, you could have stopped her from going.
I'm sorry I couldn't protect her, Elizabeth.
You're Nick Fury. Maria believed in you. She would have followed you to the gates of hell and back.
Exactly.
I don't know what Maria died for out there, but whatever it was, don't let it be for nothing.
This kind of reminds me of the whole scene from Jaws, where, like, the mother told off the chief.
At an annual celebration in Moscow, killing at least 2,000 civilians.
One suspect is currently
Killed that many?
identified
Jesus.
as a leading member of the online fringe group Americans Against Russia. The UK Prime Minister was quick to denounce the attack.
All signs point towards imminent retaliation from Russia for what the Kremlin regards as an all-out declaration of war on Americans.
They're all
Great.
certainly outside
But
Moscow.
shoot him again! Yes! Well, we know who our villain is.
And he eats pieces of shit for breakfast.
He ate pieces of shit. Okay, this got infinitely better. Also, is this the Cold War all over again?
We're kind of reliving the Cold War right now. You know what they say, those who don't learn from the past.
Yep.
I'm not having an hour. Shoot me in the head.
I like that they just let him do that.
Seems someone didn't get the suggested attire memo.
Well, I also didn't get a formal invitation, Mr. Secretary General. But I'm sure that was just a curious oversight.
I wonder if they're all scrolls. That'd be a twist.
I see you, all dressed up in the man's finery, drinking the man's wine.
Better to behave as a human than as a dog.
I quite like dogs. Dogs aren't hypocrites. They don't lie. They don't lock each other up in cages. They don't pimp, poison. And they don't go out of their way to degrade and destroy their own habitat.
Have you ever seen a dog tearing up a couch?
It's the only reason in human history.
So they are scrolls. I think Nash was right. These guys are basically a different version of the Flag Smashers.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a war. I think it's a war.
I want to take that one again.
I'm not going to lose this one.
We need a single commander whose war power is total and unchecked. My God. Therefore, I nominate Graphic to the post of Skrull General.
Traitor.
Did-
You were in on this with him the entire time.
Sit yourself down, Sergio. I'm not done yet.
Who do you think you're talking to? I'm the commander of NATO. I can mobilize 1 million troops at this level.
Great shot to the neck.
Oh, I don't think there'll be any more trouble. All those in favor of Graphic as our new general.
Yes, nominate the guy that just caused a terrorist attack that drew attention to himself and, you know, your entire peoples. I see this ending well.
We did not end up homeless refugees because we were unwilling to wage war. We ended up homeless refugees because we were too willing. I do not support your coup.
Well, you're dead.
I will not support your war.
Nice knowing you.
And I do not submit.
If I had a logic like you, I could take on the universe. You go in peace, sister. You're gonna be hungry.
Sure.
Famous last words.
Run, bitch! Run!
It's Gravik. The council just voted him general. He has control of our people and our future.
I think she would call after getting further away from the building.
Between me and Gravik, public place.
Dallas, he will kill you. If you can't keep it together, you will not walk out alive.
Shirley, set up the mate. Just tell him I want to talk about my daughter.
Yeah, he totally won't see the betrayal coming a mile away. She's like, oh, I wanted to shoot this guy. But they're gonna be cheering, you know, when they do take over the planet, and they're like, oh wow, the humans trashed this place. What do we do now?
Colonel, are you denying that two of your citizens, Mr. Nicholas Fury and Miss Maria Hill, were present in Moscow at the scene of the attacks?
We are aware of allegations that Mr. Fury and Ms. Hill may have traveled to Moscow, which, if true, at any rate, would have been in their capacity as private citizens. So, if Slovakia rolls its eyes at me one more time, I'm going to put on the suit and carpet bomb it.
Colonel.
Rhodey's done with this shit.
Rhodes.
Nice suit, Armani.
Brioni.
Pretty expensive for a government salary.
Yeah, well, my other suit's made of titanium. Actually constitutes considerable savings.
We need to meet ASAP.
Tell you what, let me just finish mopping up this globe-sized bucket of steaming hot caca you tipped over yesterday morning, and we can get a drink. That sound good?
You sound frustrated. What's the matter? Croatia talking crap?
Slovakia.
What carpet bomb there at?
Do me a favor and try not to pop off a nuclear holocaust before you get there.
He's so done with Fury shit. I love it.
I don't think we've seen Fury and Rhodes interact in
No.
anything before.
Yeah, this is the first.
Like, maybe they've been in the same room together, or...
Not even then.
Yeah.
Should I be worried about boys?
You should be worried about spending the rest of your days in the Siberian retirement company. I'm this close to handing your ass over to the Russians.
Forgetting your rank here, Colonel Rhodes.
You do not want to be playing mine is bigger than yours with job. Trust me. I'm the last friend you got.
The Russians really trying to pin this on me?
2,000 dead so far. Number will probably triple once they clear all the rubble. Meaning you not only set the stage for World War III, but you simultaneously flipped all of our allies to Team Russia.
When has that ever happened?
What if I told you they were all spies?
Spies for who? The Russians?
United States actors, you know, global reach, borderless operations.
Hydra.
Yeah, if Hydra was a bunch of green guys who could shapeshift into your daddy. That invasion is real. It's happening.
That's not possible.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, but it's true. We're being invaded and we can't even tell who the invaders are. Moscow was just the beginning.
Maybe we should call our friends.
No. We can't jump the gun on that. You know, we get them in a fight with the Skrulls, and next thing you know, they find themselves duplicated and turned into terrorists.
Yeah.
This is my war, Brody. I need you to back me on this.
I just spent all the political capital I had in getting Maria Hill's body back from the Russians.
Are you really talking to me about politics right now?
I'm here as an envoy of the United States government, Fury. The job is political.
I remember when your job was protecting the planet.
We protect the planet by protecting our seat at the table.
And forgetting
He did that before he became a superhero.
Oh, so I owe you now? Is that it?
Men who look like us don't get promoted because of our daddies, no. Every ounce of power we wrestled from the vice grip of the mediocre Alexander Pierces who run this world was earned in blood. So let's make the power mean something. Help a brother out.
Carl's outside. Carl. The car's for you, Fury. These men are going to escort you outside, then you're going to the airport.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know I had travel plans.
I made them on your behalf.
Have you even listened to a word of this?
Yeah, I have. The world is on the line. The enemy is 1,000,000 times more dangerous than Hydra, but they can only be vanquished by you, alone. And you want me to make the power mean something by helping a brother out. The reason we wrestled this power from mediocre men who don't look like us was not simply to turn around and hand it to mediocre men who do. The point of this power is to be uncompromising. To be able to sit across from a man we greatly admire, with whom we share an entire professional, personal ancestral history with, and to tell him without any reservation that he's fired. That's what this moment right here, right now is about, Nick.
You just fired Nick Fury? Wow.
Rhodey, this will not end well for you.
Is it you to fire me?
Nobody sent me. I volunteered. And not to put too fine a point on this, but that mess that you created in Moscow that resulted in getting one of our best people murdered, you earned all this smoke, brother.
Wow.
Are you serious? The impression that just because you stripped me of my titles, I relinquished my DNA?
I recognize you made a decision, but given it's a stupid-ass decision, I elected to ignore it.
You wonder why you're out.
I'm Nick Fury.
Bitch.
Even when I'm out, I'm in.
Dude. Rhodey has some major cojones to have done that. It's like I feel bad for Nick, but at the same time, Rhodey had a point here.
Yes, and now that the door is unlocked, what does that tell you about me indoors?
Warrior.
I'm above your pay grade. Where is he?
The butcher shop? Is Rocky gonna come out and start punching it?
It's my thing. Nothing wrong with you.
Oh my.
Where is your safe house?
Didn't your mother ever warn you could lose an eye by beating your meat like that?
I like her.
Yep.
I take care of that.
I've thrown everything at him and he hasn't said a word. What makes you think you can get him to speak?
Oh, I can be quite persuasive. Oh, before I forget, where is the escape hatch in this tunnel? Oh, wonderful. Okay. Make yourself scarce.
This will be interesting.
Did-
You gonna harpoon him?
Alone at last. Now, shall we do this the easy way or the other way?
I'm gonna break these chains. And then I'm gonna break every bone in your body.
The other way it is.
Oh, Lord! Whoa!
Yeah.
Well, now that's confirmed. Let's party, shall we?
I mean, you kind of already knew he was a Skrull, right? Did you really have to do that to confirm it?
Yes. Yes, she did.
Groot. Frost Beast? Coal, Obsidian, Extremis? What kind of computer is this? It's like from the 80s.
You're wasting your time. I'll never talk to you.
Well, that's very brave. But everyone talks when their blood starts to cook at 160 degrees centigrade. It's a biochemical imperative. The smart ones start talking earlier than that.
Go ahead. Include my arm. Repair.
Okay. You asked for it.
Oh.
Ooh, right in the ass. Ooh.
I've heard of making your blood boil, but this, oof.
Bro literally asked for it. Oh no, he's gonna turn into the Hulk.
Tell me the location of Gravik's compound.
I swear! I don't have it, please!
I'm very sorry, dear heart. I can't work with nothing.
He's building a machine.
What kind of machine?
I think it's to make us stronger.
So gene manipulation.
Who's leading the science?
Some married couple.
What's their name?
I can't, please. Gravik will kill me.
You're about to die, dude.
Sorry, but if I don't get a name, Gravik won't get a chance to kill you.
The name's Dalton.
Oh, you see, that wasn't so terribly difficult, was it?
Oh my. Not on the job. He died the way he lived, eating sausage. Looks like her hunch was right.
Mm-hmm.
What, did they put a tracker on everyone? Oh, not the meat. Ugh. Oh! Whew. Very brutal episode, jeez.
Yeah.
So someone's finger get cut off, and then we saw someone impaled on a meat hook. Damn. And now they'll be ground into sausage.
What'd you tell him?
Oh boy. You're a dead man.
Lies. Nothing. Just lies. That's all, I swear.
Yes, linger on that shot of a pig that's been cut in half. They're gonna bring him to the middle of a lake. You'll be going home soon enough.
Can I tend to the rabbits, George? There it is.
Yeah, he was a dead man either way.
Yep.
Honey, I'm home. Hope he doesn't scare her while she's chopping things. You already saw one finger get sliced off today. Huh.
Almost.
He married a Skrull. Been hiding her away this whole time.
Special guest stars. Yeah, I guess that's probably why he's been so afraid lately. I'm sure before the blip he was unattached, and then this must have happened.
It might have happened even sooner. I mean, he's known the Skrulls for like 30 years now. So that's why he was so accommodating to Hawkeye and his family. He knew how to hide family away. I consider this a vast improvement over the first episode. We actually had some good scenes in this.
Tell me something I don't know scene on the train was immediately, okay, I'm in. It's like,
okay, finally I'm invested in something.
This is the Samuel Jackson I've been waiting for.
Yeah. He always gets the best lines,
Yeah.
and I know it's usually because they come straight from him. Yeah, that was a great scene. The scene with him and Rhodey was great. The whole, like, fight in the meat locker was great. The whole interrogation scene, like, damn. Like, it's still a bit uneven in terms of pacing, and sometimes I look around and I'm like, wait, how did we get here? What's going on? Oh, yeah, we're doing this. Bottom line, it's a vast improvement over the first. Well, now, Nick is all but alone at this point, I think, because really, what allies does he have besides Talos? And even then, that's on rocky ground right now, given that whole confrontation on the train.
Like, his conversation with Rhodey kind of was making me think, yeah, no, probably not best to jump the gun on calling in the Avengers, but maybe get them primed for if something goes down.
Or at least work out a communication system so you know who the legit ones are and not the ones pretending to be them. That being said though, I honestly don't blame Rhodey for going off on him. First of all, he had to pick up what Fury left behind. Nick was gone for 5 years. Rhodey wasn't. He had to pretty much help the government rebuild itself, rebuild society during that bleak time. He had to take on so much while also dealing with his fellow Avengers, all going through their own depressive episodes. And he himself couldn't even have that moment because, you know, he's government man from the government. He has to always be on. He has to be in charge. Somebody has to be level-headed. And then, of course, once everybody comes back, and even Nick comes back, dude just takes off and is, like, barely involved. And then, by that point, Tony's now gone. Steve Rogers is gone. Thor's gone. Most of the Avengers are gone or retired or something, which means that Rhodey is pretty much by his lonesome at this point, with some of the few people he knows just scattered about doing their own thing. He pretty much has to hold all this together. And then for Nick to just go and screw up like that. Didn't even inform him beforehand about what he and Maria were doing. Like, he could have, at the very minimum, gave him the lowdown on that.
Yeah. And it's like, Nick Fury's supposed to be the man who's been on top of everything, and now suddenly he's had, for one of the very few times in his life, the wool pulled out from under him.
I'm starting to think less and less that he's a Skrull now, given all this stuff that is happening, but at the same time, I know there's more to it as to why he left, because there has to be a big thing behind that. I get he was shaken by the fact that, you know, he and half the universe basically disappeared for 5 years, but once you come back, once you get your bearings, you think you go back on top of trying to protect everyone now that they kind of know the threats that are out there. But no, he kind of just shies away.
I mean, to be fair, this is big. You don't even know who you can trust. This is worse than Hydra by a million times.
No, I agree in that respect, but at the same time, I'm not all that surprised, and I don't know why he's surprised either, because again, I know he only met that group, but like Talos said, he sent out the word. He mentioned that there were like 1 million Skrulls out there that were looking for a home. So it's fair to assume that over the 30-year period, most of them would find their way to Earth. And yeah, granted, Fury didn't get a formal introduction to everyone, but you would think those that welcome him would find a way to incorporate them, so that way they lived peaceful lives on the down low. And the fact that he's, like, not only shocked by this revelation, but infuriated by it? Dude, what did you expect? And the thing is, none of them were a problem in these 30 years, not until this guy. And yeah, I know that you could say that, you know, they're sleeper agents or whatever, like they're just waiting to make their move, but all 1 million of them? You already met other Skrulls that don't approve of what's going on, so it's not fair to assume that all of them want this.
Yeah, it's clear not all of them want it, but you could tell them waiting for this new home, these feelings have been festering, and Fury made a promise, and it's been decades, and he's had nothing to show. They're still doing his dirty work.
No, I can understand, like, now that they explain it a little better, I get more now why they're doing what they're doing. It seems a little more justified, because again, this is kind of like the whole thing with the Flag Smashers, you know, half the world's gone, so these people that are left behind are allowed to form their own societies, are allowed to live peacefully with people from other countries that are no longer feuding. They get to live a nice, peaceful existence for once. And then everybody comes back, and suddenly they have to go back to the horrible lives they knew. So it's fair to understand, you know, why they would want to bring all that back, albeit in a horrible way.
Not only that, but because of all the displacement, you factor in the Skrulls being part of that, that's even further displacement.
Mm-hmm.
They've been displaced and displaced again. And they were waiting and waiting and waiting already. Yeah, I kind of don't blame them now. Any minute now, the sky could fall. Another snap could happen, and God knows what happens. So now I don't blame some of them, can't even afford to wait anymore.
I know his whole goal is to make it so that they can live freely without persecution, without having to always hide themselves and whatever, but now they're bringing in that whole experiment into the deal, the whole machine, which I guess is gene manipulation or something. Something's supposed to make them stronger, I guess?
I'm guessing there's more to the plan than what Gravik wants everybody knowing. It's probably more selfish than he's letting everybody believe it to be.
I wouldn't be surprised if his plan was, you know, once they take over the planet, get rid of the humans and establish themselves, is to once again fight the Kree. Because they established that both his parents were killed by them. So it's fair to assume he'd want to seek revenge, but he's in a position where there's no way he can get that. So it only makes sense that not only would he want to replace all of humanity, but he'd want to enhance his own species so that way they actually have a chance against fighting.
They don't want anybody thinking they're weak ever again.
Mm-hmm. So basically history repeating themselves.
Yep.
And I just love that Talos' daughter is just cool with all this. She wanted revenge for her mother getting killed or whatever, but it's like, you realize you're doing the opposite of all that. You're just hurting other people that had nothing to do with that. And she still hasn't found really the truth behind where, how, why she died. Like, I get they're probably gonna make it so that she, you know, she finds out the truth, reveals that, oh, he actually killed her all along or something, and then she turns tail.
Had something to do with it.
Yeah, and then she switches side last minute or something. I was like, I hope they don't go that way.
No, don't be freaking
like,
predictable. You've already fridged a character, for crying out loud.
Yeah, not to mention, she already has not endeared herself to us. She had her chance with her dad, and she blew it, and she literally got all these people killed. It's like, you really expect to, like, go that far and then suddenly be forgiven? Unless she sacrifices herself or something.
Mm.
Also, I do like, what's her name scene where she's interrogating and, like, torturing that Skrull guy.
Oh, what is that? That Olivia Colman? Is that
I think so.
The actress?
I believe so.
Yeah. Oh god, I'm like, the minute she says, didn't your mother ever tell you not to beat your meat that way? You've just quickly become my new favorite.
And she's just so cheerily just going about this torture. It's like, oh, you don't want to talk? Okay. La-di-da-di-da-da-da, stab. Okay, and you're going to tell me everything. Oh, you don't want to? Stab.
Oh, she's so desensitized. She's probably done stuff like this a million times.
Yep.
And I mean, she's close to Fury, so you know.
He didn't even want to do anything without her knowing, because he knows that she'll kick his ass. I'm glad she was able to escape. And I like that she knew that this would happen too. She's like, where's the escape routes? He's like, why? Oh, just a hunch. It's like, did you read the script? Oh, what's that laying on the floor? That is cool though. I'm glad we have somebody who gets results on this show.
So overall, I'd say a marked improvement over the first episode. Still not great, but definitely I'm actually starting to get into it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's most of the character interactions that have really improved this, you know, between Fury and Talos, between Fury and Rhodey, between Olivia Wilde and the guy she tortured. That's honestly where this is shining a lot more. Like, heck, even the one where Maria Hill's mom chewed out Fury. Again, that reminded me of that scene from Jaws. That's the chills it gave me. Like, that woman only had 5 minutes of screen time, and she really... That's saying something right there.
Yep.
And now the question is, now that Fury is fired, where does he go from here? I mean, we got the nice reveal that, hey, at least he has a wife to come home to, who is a Skrull, and feels the need to hide herself around him, which I think is weird. Unless
she's a spy.
Yeah, that's what I'm half wondering. Which, ouch. Let's dig the knife and twist it, why don't we? I'd like to believe he knows she's a Skrull. I really would like to think that. I mean, all the Skrulls he encountered, I'm sure one of them got his affection. Again, I like to think that. I mean, this man has already lost so much. It's like, how much more can we possibly hurt him?
Then again, a lot of it he's kind of done to himself, but, you know.
I mean, like, what, 50-something years of being undercover, killing how many people, uprooting how many governments and stuff. That'll get you a long enemies list. But yeah, I actually am looking forward to episode 3 now. There's a lot to theorize about here, a lot to talk about. Still, some of, like, the themes I think is a bit iffy. I think they're working toward improving it, so I guess just sit and see and find out where this goes. But until then, I'm Kat MacBerrie.
I'm Doug MacBerrie.
And Fury, would you like some sausage? Fury, would you like some sausages? Fury, would you like some sausage? Fury, would you like some sausages?